So there's definitely no shortage of personal development advice out there.
You could find tons of videos, books, and podcasts on how to get better at just about anything.
Here's the bottom line. None of that actually matters unless your foundational habits are in place to begin with.
These are the core habits that keep the basics of life running. Things like your health, your energy, and your overall vitality. And without those locked in, it's pretty damn hard to show up well in any area of your life.
So in this video, I want to talk about the foundational habits that have made the biggest difference in my life and how I've actually been able to make them stick.
After I wake up in the morning and grab my coffee, I spend a few minutes journaling. It's nothing fancy, just a notebook and whatever happens to be on my mind that morning. Most days it's a paragraph or two, sometimes more if I'm really working through something. This habit is especially useful when I'm in a rut. Getting those thoughts out of my head and down onto paper closes some of those open loops in my head, and it gives me a clearer sense of what I need to do next. Sometimes it's practical stuff like habits I need to get back to. Other times it's just reminding myself that life is hard sometimes, and my job is to just keep going until this passes. After I journal, I like to zoom out a bit and remind myself of the bigger picture. For that, I keep a few pages of quotes and notes on my personal philosophy, and I just casually read through them. These are little reminders of the kind of person I want to be and how I want to show up every day. Just as an example, there's this Aristotle quote in there that says, "We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit."
Usually one specific quote will hit a little harder than the others on any given day, and that becomes the theme or focus for what's ahead. It's a simple way to line up my day with the bigger goals that I care about.
Then I read at least one page from The Daily Stoic by Ryan Holiday. The Daily Stoic is a book of short daily entries on Stoic philosophy. Stoicism has had a huge impact on my life, and this little practice helps me remember that philosophy isn't just something you read once. It's a way of living, and this keeps it in front of me every morning. After that morning stack of habits, I usually do a quick 30 minutes of work catch-up, and then I start my exercise routine. For this habit, I had to start small and work my way up. This was a harder one to make stick. I actually started pretty small with a minimum run of only 12 minutes at whatever pace I felt like going. It's just enough to get the blood flowing and build some momentum, and I commit to doing it 6 days a week. Doing it daily is important to me because it's the reps that actually make it stick. After the run, I do a short barefoot walk around the field near my house. I basically just use that time to listen to a podcast or to just ponder over my thoughts. I actually quite enjoy that part of the routine. Once that part became consistent, I layered on 10 minutes of mobility work. I found that as I get older, it has become even more important to continue to work on my movement patterns so that my body feels good and to avoid getting injured. Then every other day, I stack a simple strength routine that consists of a minimum number of push-ups and squats. I can always do more, but the key is hitting that baseline every time. With my body feeling good from that, diet becomes the natural next piece, and honestly, one of the easier habits for me to nail down. I eat pretty much the same breakfast and lunch every day anyway, and dinner rotates through a handful of go-to meals. The real game changer was switching to a mostly paleo approach. Whole foods like veggies, proteins, and healthy fats. I don't snack much anymore, except maybe a few nuts or a beef stick in the afternoon when I just need a little something to get me through. Keeping it simple and consistent means I don't have to overthink it, and that consistency fuels everything else. Sleep is another foundational piece that's non-negotiable for health and thriving, so I have to give that some attention here. Honestly though, I don't have any kind of elaborate bedtime routine, no fancy wind down rituals or blue blockers or anything like that. I usually just turn on the TV for an hour to unwind. Then when I'm getting sleepy, I play some AI-generated Stoic videos and fall asleep on the couch for a few minutes. I'll wake up for 30 minutes to watch something with my wife before we go to bed.
So I don't really need some super dialed in sleep routine because when the other habits are in place, like the journaling, the philosophy, the exercise, the eating healthy, then the sleep just comes naturally. So that's my foundational habit stack. I hope it helped give you some ideas to build your foundational habits. If it resonated, hit like, subscribe for more, and drop a comment with the habit that you'll be tackling first.